Welcome to the Film Breakdown Show. I'm Logan Paulson, and it's week 2 of this show, and we're going to talk about all the great stuff Jayden Daniels did. Well, not all of it, just one play in particular that I love because it's a completion of Zach Ertz for a touchdown. Got to talk about that. We talk about defense's big day in New York. Man, love what that group did. Here's some key plays, some third downs, things like that, a little behind the curtains peek. And then we talk about Green Bay. Offensively, a lot of motions, a lot of shifts, a lot of things that are used to kind of undress the coverage and put the quarterback in a better spot to be successful. He's the big playmaker for that group. And then we talk about their defense, man. And their defense is so much fun to watch. They have some of the best disguises I have seen in a while. What's Cliff Kingsbury going to do to help Jayden Daniels rip this group apart? Let's head up to Lambeau and get that dub. It all starts right now. The Film Breakdown Show. I'm Logan Paulson, and we're in the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. And let's get into the film, man. And we're going to review some stuff from that Giants game, some of my favorite plays, and it's simple. So I'm a simple man. I like good tight end play. And so let's just talk about this concept right here. We're getting what I would call a cheetah concept. So you're going to run a corner, going to run kind of a swirl return, and run a now. The reason this concept is so good is because it's good versus man, it's good versus zone. So if you check it out, the Giants right here are in man coverage. We're manning up, manning up. Man it up, man it up. We have 2 free players. So I don't know how you want to call them, a plugger and a post player. The post player is going to shade in the red zone to the 3 receiver side. That's the more dangerous set. The plugger is going to shade, the plugger here is going to shade more to the 2 receiver side, right? Great play design by Cliff, giving answers, right? Because if this choice route that Zach's going to run, also, again, love the little bit of motion here. A little bit of motion helps Zach digest the coverage. He can work, watch this, work out. Love that little head and shoulder fake. This angle on paper is probably drawing up something like this. Boom, boom. Very simple. But the flavor that Zach puts on it, right? Use the motion, a little bit of a burst, shoulders out. Watch this defender. He crosses over now to play the out route he thinks he's got there, playing over the top of the pick route. Zach sees that window, comes up underneath. But great route by Zach. Really, the piece de resistance here, the magic here comes from our guy, Jayden Daniels. I think when you watch him on film, defenders are surprised with his quick release. They're surprised how quickly the ball comes out. This plug player here, Bobby Okereke, has to be a little bit slow to go because there's a dig right in behind him. So he's got to kind of take away the dig, help this defender here with the inside move. But so he can't just sprint out to Zach. But watch the quickness. See how surprised he is by that ball here? Why it zips by his ear? Great job. And look at that, right between the 8 and the 6. By Jayden Daniels. That's, to me, what makes him special. Like, you got a great route here by Zach. He can win versus man-to-man coverage. He's been talking about that all offseason, all training camp. But this ball placement is impeccable. And we got to talk about the offensive line. We got our guy Josh Connolly on Abdul Carter down here holding it down. And look at this beautiful pocket. Jayden Daniels does not need to move his feet. This is just a fun play all around. Just great to watch. And way to finish. Always good to finish with 6 to a tight end in the end zone. Great route, great ball. Great play design, really just helping with formation, Jayden Daniels understand who's going to be covering who and let him be decisive with the football. Love to see it. Love to see it. Now, the other thing I love to see besides tight end play is physical tackles. So this looks like we're kind of in a man-to-man situation here in the red zone. I can't tell exactly what they're doing. He's going to get the back. Bobby seems like he's kind of a carry player or a plug player. So as this tight end works vertical here, Bobby's going to kind of carry that. So not straight man, but maybe some type of match. But see how everybody's locked up? Look at these eyes here by Will Harris, how he's kind of pushing through to the quarterback. This is a tough down here because he can't trigger yet. The quarterback has not crossed the line of scrimmage. He could still throw this ball behind him. He's got to do a good job keeping his depth. I love the discipline he's playing with here. Eyes on the quarterback. Kind of feels like a dog on the porch ready to get a ball, right? I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Oh, he's crossed the line. Now I'm going to trigger. And it is so hard to gather your feet like this, get that right foot up, and deliver a blow on the football. That ball is out, man. Ball is life. Imagine if we get this turnover in the red zone. I felt like you really could feel Will Harris's physicality. This is a great disciplined football play. Get that ball out. Too bad we didn't recover it, but holds him to 3 points here in the red zone. Love his addition. Love the energy that he's been playing with and the stuff that he brings. Now, let's talk about this. This is something that confused me when I first watched it, so I'm going to share with you. So I'm watching this play and I'm like, man, this is a great interior line stunt. Watch our guy, Dorrance Armstrong, work on these guards on the interior. He's been great at this all season. Gets caught up in the slide. The slide is this. So we got the center. He's going to check Bobby. Once Bobby drops out, I now can go to my work and help my buddy out. You see his eyes immediately flash this direction. I can help out. This is tough for an interior pass rush. We get 4 hands on it, but way to fight through it. Ready to get this sack. Good job by Duran playing back downhill. I thought, man, that's just good pass rush. That's just being disruptive. But this is why you got to watch the all 22, guys, is that feels like a good rush. But I think this is even better coverage. This is a really good job in the secondary. They're in man coverage. We've talked about, how much Joe Witt Jr. wants to be playing man, and you see it here, right? We've got man coverage across the board. This stack up top is tough. It's a nightmare for DBs. We just saw Zach Ertz score a touchdown versus a very similar coverage contour here. Man coverage this is a third down situation. This guy's going to work vertical. This tight end's going to work vertically here. He's going to try and create a pick, create a little bit of traffic there so that Amos can't work through. But watch Amos and Will Harris work through this. Watch him play through this. I think Russell Wilson wants to throw this ball. I think he maybe could throw this ball. But great job by Trey Amos playing through that and making him pull that football down so that our guy can get a sack here, number 92. Great job in terms of working together cohesively as a defensive unit. Because that's tough. To me, this is the right play call here. This is the right play call here for this coverage. This is a good man-beating concept. You're going to get a pick, but great job. Great job working through that. And again, get a little bit extra body contact here on the ground. Our guy stands up. Hey, that's offensive PI, right? What are we doing? And I understand that. I feel you there. Tight end can't do that. Well, maybe he could. He's a tight end, right? Whatever. All right. So that's just a little bit of review from clips that we had that we didn't use in the coaches show, clips that we had that we didn't use on Command Center. Now I think we can get to our boys up in Green Bay and talk about the matchup we should expect to see. So this is something that I think is really cool. And it's good that they played Detroit because Detroit likes to play a lot of man. This is interesting. So watch this little motion by the back here. He's going to push out. He's going to come back. And this looks like nothing. It's like, why did they do that? That's so silly. Why did they do that? They're in man coverage. This is a bunch to this side. This is a 3-man bunch. So they have to declare how to cover this, right? So obviously we want our corner to be on the receiver, right? But these two guys on the interior, they're going to have to cover the tight end and the back. So they got to these two guys have to figure out how to cover these two guys right now, okay? So what do? If we're the Green Bay Packers, we say, who's going to cover who? We're going to send the motion out. And what this is telling you is that if this guy, this running back, pushes this way on a route, this guy's going to get the coverage on the back, meaning that the linebacker on the inside here, this guy, is going to be locked up one-on-one on the tight end, Kraft, who's actually, to me, he's becoming a top 5 player at the position. So watch this. Come back. Now watch what the back does. Ready, set, hut. We've got the coverage declared. He's working out. Look who's got who. I've got him. You've got him. I've got the tight end. And now we've got the one-on-one matchup, if we were Green Bay, that we want. It's kind of basically too high. There's 2 high safeties here, so it's 2-man. And I get to run a little option route, call this a jerk route, on the tight end. You act like you're going to sit down. Watch him work this. Act like you're going to sit down, kind of steady your feet, push by, over the top. Great ball. This is the thing that Jordan Love does such a great job of. Look at the ball trajectory here. Nice and flat, high RPM, great catch by Kraft for a touchdown. This is, to me, what Green Bay wants to do. They want to let the quarterback dissect the coverage, see the coverage, pick his best matchup, and let it rip. This is exactly what you want if you're the Green Bay Packers. So when you're watching at home, make sure you're looking for those pre-snap motion tells. And the thing I'm curious about is, what does Joe Witt Jr. do to disguise some of that stuff? How do we say we're in man, but it really feels like cover 2 pre-snap, so we can kind of surprise Jordan Love and put him in a bad spot? They do this so much. They also do it with formation. So maybe you don't see anybody moving around. But what's over here? We got 2 tight ends over here. And we've got 2 receivers up top over here. You guys see this? So I know right now this is zone. How do I know that? Because this is a corner. I do not want a corner on my tight end. That's wasting a coverage player, right? I don't want that. This is the nickel over here, and that's a corner right there. I don't want my nickel on a number 2 wide receiver. So versus slot, if they're playing both of your starting if they're playing man, both of your starting quarters should be on this side covering the receivers. That's not the case. This dude's over here. It's probably zone. Now, they're trying to make you think, hey, we're going to man up here. Look at, we're man. But the other thing that tells me this is if this was man, would that linebacker be standing right there? No. He'd be pushed a little bit wider because he's got to cover this tight end in man-to-man coverage situations, right? So even though they're trying to tell you man, this is single high, this is man coverage, it's not. Watch what they get to here. And they're getting all this diagnosis just off formation. This guy's going to drop out. This guy's going to drop down. This guy's going to drop out. This guy's going to drop out. This guy's going to drop out. What coverage is this? This is actually Tampa 2 coverage off of a man disguise. You see that? Great job by Jordan Love getting the ball out to the tight end here. He could be a little bit earlier. The tight end's confused by the coverage. He thought it was man the whole time because if he knew this was zone, he would have sat down because this is going to be a car accident if he runs into it. But they're using motions, they're using formations to help the quarterback, this guy right here, figure out what coverage they're in. And so my question is, what does Joe Witt Jr., knowing this, do to make sure that he's unsettled the same way the Detroit Lions are doing it right here? So love that. Great to see that. Now, let's get to the Green Bay Packers defense. Now, this is a fun group to watch because they're doing a lot of stuff that feels really innovative. So let's talk about why. This is, again, what are we looking at? We're looking at DB contour here. This is pretty flat. It feels like man coverage. We've got DB eyes. This feels like man, right? One of these guys on the interior is going to pick up the back, right? Feels like man coverage. Check us out. He comes up to line of scrimmage, says, I think this is man. Let's check the protection. We retarget the protection. What do we get? We actually get drop 8, Tampa 2, right? Drop 8, Tampa 2. So we're going to get this guy pushing out here to the flat. He's the hook player. This guy's going to push out here. He's the flat player. He's the half player. He's the Tampa player, right? And it's a total kind of surprise to Jared Goff. He wants to throw this man-beating out route, but now it's cover 2. So there's a flat player right here, and there's a hook player right there. The ball is dead. I have to check the ball down. You see the pressure. They did a great job. We didn't talk about that. This is Micah Parsons working the up and under on Penei Sewell. This is Gary working the up and under here. Watch them compress this pocket. Goff feels it. Oh, shoot, I'm wrong. Ball gets out to the flat. They rally and tackle underneath on a 3rd and 7 call here, right? So see that disguise, man? That disguise is sick. And so you say, oh, okay, if they're going to get into those drop coverage situations, they're going to drop to Tampa 2, right? That was my initial thought when I was watching film. And I think Jared Goff had the exact same thought. Because check this out. This is the same thing, right? We get all this flat coverage. We just talked about that. Flat coverage, okay? Say, okay, this feels like it's going to be some form of this drop coverage man, or drop coverage Tampa 2. They're trying to trick me here, right? But no. See, everybody's up in press man situations, right? Man. This guy looks like he's going to blitz right up the A-gap here. But we drop out. We rush 3. And instead of dropping out 8 and rushing 3 into a cover 2 structure, they stay in man coverage here, right? Man here down at the bottom. This is all manned up at the top. And Jared Goff is trying to throw a zone-beating sit route here to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Amon-Ra, if this was Tampa 2, this guy would push out here, and Amon-Ra would come up right here and just sit down right at that spot, and this would be an easy completion. But no, they tricked him. It's man coverage. I got to hold the football. Pump, late throw, incomplete, 3rd and 7, we kick a field goal here, right? That is where the disguises are different. One's Tampa 2, this one's some type of man coverage and drop 8. Disguises are a little bit different. Now, for maybe my favorite play of this entire cut-up, like quite literally, this is sick. In the red zone, they are a big quarters team. What is quarters? Think about your man coverage. We actually talked about it last week too, right? This is like the 4. They're going to be here, right? And so they like to get into quarters coverage. This feels like quarters coverage. This looks like quarters coverage to me. Check it out. So we're here. Looks like quarters coverage. Maybe cover 6. This could be a flat defender. I'm not going to say declaratively what it is or what it feels like. Then on the snap, this guy pushes out. In quarters, we get 2 flat players. We get these guys playing quarters. And that to me is what it looks like. This picture right now feels like quarters. But check out this disguise. Look at this guy's shoulders. They're pointing to his left here, right? Watch this guy too, man. Watch him buzz down here. They're actually in single high Tampa 2. Do you see that? This guy is pushing to become the Tampa player. This is a half player. This is a half player. And this guy is coming out of center field to be a hook player. I have not seen a disguise like this in a long time. Jared Goff says, we got this. It's quarters. This guy's back is to me. He's obviously the flat player. I'm just going to hit this choice route by Amon-Ra St. Brown, my boy. It's wide open. Who cares? No. We get center fielder coming out to pick this sucker off, and this is a hell of a play. This is an interception in the red zone. People say, oh, man, it looks like the Detroit Lions really had a hard day at the office. They had 2 turnovers in the red zone, 1 on downs, this interception here. They kicked 2 field goals. They were successful moving the football down the field, but these are the things that were the difference in the game. To me, it's the disguises, tricking the quarterback, making them make bad decisions, and making them hold the football. I cannot wait to see how Cliff Kingsbury handles this, and it's going to be such a fun chess match to watch on Thursday night. So that's the Film Breakdown Show. Please make sure you send this to your friends. We really appreciate it, and that's it. This show was filmed at the Big Bear AI Command Center studio. Big Bear AI offers mission-ready AI for a rapidly evolving world, proudly protecting the Washington Commanders and its fans.